Okello, who killed for children, will also be put to death penalty in Uganda for Christopher Okello. The tragic killing of 4 innocent children in Uganda has ignited intense public outrage. Heated discussions on justice and renewed debate about the use of the death penalty in the country. The suspect, Christopher Okello, has become a national focal point as Ugandans follow court developments with a mix of sorrow, anger, and anticipation.
The story is not only about one man's actions, but about a community shaken to its core, a society demanding justice, and a justice system grappling with how to protect its most vulnerable citizens' children. This expanded article examines the background, the crime, legal implications, public reactions, and broader significance of the impending death penalty case.
Initial investigations pointed towards Christopher Okello, a man reportedly known within the community. Early reports suggest that the suspect may have had personal conflicts, psychological instability, or unknown motives, details still under formal investigation. However, none of those possibilities soften the collective anger of the public. Uganda, like many nations, has long struggled with cases of violence against children. Yet this case stood out because of the cruelty involved and the multiple lives lost in a single incident. Communities across the country reacted strongly, demanding swift justice.
2. How the investigation unfolded. Police launched an intensive manhunt immediately after the murders were discovered. With widespread public cooperation, the suspect was arrested within days. Witness statements, forensic evidence, and other investigative findings reportedly tied him directly to the crime scene. Once detained, the suspect was transferred to secure custody as tensions rose. In some cases involving child murder, communities have attempted mob justice, but authorities successfully intervened to preserve the rule of law. The police spokesperson emphasized that the evidence gathered was overwhelming, which paved the way for prosecutors to prepare a capital offense case. 3. Why the death penalty is on the table. Uganda legally permits the death penalty for the most severe crimes, including aggravated murder. Under Ugandan law, the killing of multiple people, especially children, is classified as an aggravated capital offense. In this case, 4 minors were killed, fitting squarely within the legal threshold for capital punishment. Prosecutors have already signaled their intention to seek the maximum sentence available. Their arguments rest on several factors and number of victims. The killing of 4 children magnifies the severity of the crime. Courts in Uganda typically impose harsher sentences when multiple lives are involved. The vulnerability of the victims, children, are among the most protected classes under the law. Crimes against them almost always attract strong judicial responses, see cruelty and brutality. Reports suggest the children were killed violently, further supporting the prosecution's push for a capital sentence. The public interest and deterrence. The state often argues that harsh sentences can deter similar acts in the future. Social stability and justice. In cases where communities are deeply shaken, courts may consider the broader societal need for closure and justice. 4. Public reaction, grief, anger, and a call for justice. News of the killing spread quickly across Uganda through local radio, social media, and national news channels. Public reaction was immediate and intense. Many Ugandans expressed disbelief that a person could harm children so mercilessly. A community grief, the families of the victims have been at the center of national sympathy. Vigils were held, and neighbors offered support as the families struggled to cope with unimaginable loss. Be widespread anger. Across Uganda, citizens called for harsh punishment. For many, the death penalty is seen not merely as punishment but as a way to reaffirm the value of innocent life. See renewed debate. While some activists oppose capital punishment on human rights grounds, this particular case has seen unusually strong support for the death penalty even from those who are normally against it. 5. Legal process and expected developments. After the arrest and formal charges, the court process moved into the pretrial stage. The suspect is expected to face multiple counts of aggravated murder. The prosecution will likely present forensic results, witness testimony, and investigative records. Defense attorneys may attempt to argue for mitigating circumstances such as mental health concerns, but given the gravity of the case, most legal analysts believe the chances of avoiding the death penalty are extremely slim. If convicted, the suspect would join a relatively small number of inmates on Uganda's death row. While not frequently carried out, executions remain legal and enforceable. 6. Social significance. Why this case matters. This case has triggered strong responses because it touches on several broader issues. Child protection in Uganda. The tragedy exposed vulnerabilities in child safety, supervision, and environmental risks in rural communities. Calls for increased community policing, better mental health support, and stronger parental safety networks have grown. Be the role of the justice system. The public is watching closely to see whether justice will be delivered swiftly and fairly. For many Ugandans, this is a test of the judicial system's ability to respond to horrific crimes. See debates about capital punishment. Regardless of one's stance, this case has reignited national debate on whether the death penalty is an appropriate response to extreme violence. 500 Impact on future cases. A firm legal stance could influence how future child murder cases are prosecuted. 7. Conclusion. The killing of 4 children is one of the most heartbreaking crimes Uganda has witnessed in recent years. Christopher Okello now faces the gravest of legal consequences as prosecutors seek the death penalty. For the grieving families and the wider Ugandan community, the hope is that justice, though it cannot bring back their children, will at least bring closure. This case stands as a powerful reminder of society's responsibility to protect its children and the importance of a justice system capable of addressing such severe crimes. As the trial continues, the nation watches, mourns, and awaits the final verdict that will shape discussions on crime, punishment, and justice for years to come.